Hello, my name is Charles Russell. I'd like to welcome you to this a video in a series of videos being done for the Sacramento Professional Network in support of their migration from Drupal 6 to Drupal 7. In this video series, I talk about different aspects of configuring a Drupal 7 site. And today we're going to talk about Profiles 2. Profiles 2 is a module that allows us to uh, doing stuff that we can't do with the user fields we discussed earlier. When user fields load, everything that you add into that loads on every page load. Now that makes sense for things that you're going to use a lot, like your possibly name and phone numbers and things that are really common to use on many pages. Uh, but it's less useful when you're talking about things like, oh, I don't know if your business spouses names. In our case, we have something called, we want to have information on LinkedIn accounts for both employers and members, and some other data information that really doesn't make sense to carry every time. Another thing that Profiles 2 allows you to do is to um, make a profile that's visible to only certain roles. This is really useful. So when I go into, I attach to when somebody looks their user account, they can see a tab that allows them to edit things that pertain just to um, them. So the stuff for employers would show up as on the employer, and stuff that is for members would show up in members, and they could edit and change that. So with that said, um, let's get into it and talk about how we're going to set all this up. So the first thing you do is you have administrative privileges, as we discussed earlier, and we're going to go here to structure, and we're going to go to profile types, and we're going to create a new profile type by clicking that right there. Now I'm going to make a label. Now the label is what the user is going to see. So in this case, we're going to call this profile main, and the reason why is this is going to be the profile that's used by both uh, members and employers or any other person type of user that we're going to have in here. I don't want this to be on a separate page, and I do want it to be shown on account registration page. That said, I'm going to save it. By the way, when you look over here, they saw that machine name. That machine name is what the machine actually sees, and you can change that if you want to if you check that little edit field that was there. All right. So as you can see here, it is main, and the machine name, the name that Drupal sees is main. I'm going to leave that all default. I think it makes sense for us. Now the next thing we need to do is, for those that saw the previous video, already know about managed fields, so we'll just click here and get that up. And just like in the other one, we're going to give it a name for a label so people can see it. So what we're going to call this, we're going to make a LinkedIn field that's going to be part of this profile. And again, I like to use conventions that make sense so that we can know where stuff comes from when we build views. So in this case, it's going to be a profile, and it's going to be in something called main, and I'm going to call the actual thing that this is LinkedIn. So this is the name the machine is going to be used. Now I can change what that label is, but I won't be able to change this name. So I want you to do something that makes sense. So the next thing, I want to choose a type. In this case, we can, just like before, we can choose a type. We just enabled that link module, so now we have this linked field type that we can use, and we can only have the one kind of widget we can use here. Now, if there's other fields that you want to use, you can pick those. In this case, I don't want to do that, and I think in profiles that doesn't make more sense. If you're adding content types, that makes more sense, and this is the same user interface for anything that's fieldable, which I think it really makes things a lot easier for us. So we're going to save this, and we're going to add another field now. So let's say, okay, these are the field settings that there's going to be created when we do it. So we're going to do the save the field settings, and we're going to get something else. So I don't want to make this a required field, but I do want to put some help text here. So let's tell users what it is that we're doing. So in this case, it is going to allow the entry of your URL. For those who don't know what a URL is, we're going to say web address linked in. And it's all one word, and I should probably capitalize all that, so let's just do that. Why do I keep trying to make that 2 words? And that's not a page, it's going to be an account, it's going to be a page. All right. So once people enter it in, I want it to be validated. And I'm going to allow people to enter titles, so that they want to put something else in there. They can put anything they want to show for the link. Maybe we might make it static and standardize that later, but for right now, we'll just leave it alone. Now, what do we want to have happen when people click this link? Well, in this case, what I want people to do is to open the link in a new window. Okay, we're not going to use the rel attribute here. Now, this is interesting if we want to add CSS classes. So we want to have this be, for those who are familiar, CSS allows you to change the look and feel of your site. And if I want to add a class here, I can, so I want to make this kind of link say red rather than the normal blue, I could do that here. I'm not going to do that. We're going to leave that alone, and I'm going to leave this other things alone as well. Take the default settings. Sometimes it makes sense to allow multiple values of things, but not in this case, so we only want one value for each thing on this field, and we're going to make the content of this field private. No, we're not going to make, excuse me, we're not going to make the content of this field private. We want this, I think that if we made it private, we defeating what the purpose of this is. So let's save it. And we've added a field. Now we could add as many fields as we want to, or pull as many existing fields as we want to our content type. But I think for right now we've got the gist of what we need to do. So I'm going to go save this in the interest of time. And I'm going to talk about the next thing, which is now that we've got this all created, what do we want to do? Well, we want to allow people to sometimes, for this case, we want everybody to see it. But occasionally, we're going to want to restrict it. For instance, I don't want employers to see the members' information gathering page, and I don't want members to see the employer's information page. So the way I can control what happens is with something called permissions. So I come over here and I go to permissions, and then if I scroll down here, you'll see a Profile2 section. There it is. And here I can change who can edit the profile, who can view a profile, and by profile type. In this case, and they're all the main, right? But if I put down employer, I would have an employer role, and I would not let employers, I would check them as able to view the profile, and I would or edit the profile, and I wouldn't allow members to. And I probably would restrict the view to members as well. I'd want to have the view controlled in another way, so that way I don't have to worry about them seeing it. So with that said, we've got that part all done. So now remember I said that I wanted to show up on the registration page. So let's just make sure that that's happening as we expect. So let's close this and let's log out. For some reason, things are taking a little longer today. Now I'm logged out. I can then go to create new account. And in a moment, we should see that come up. And here is the field as we wanted to. Now we could probably change how this was arranged, but I think for right now, this is pretty good, and at least you get the gist of what it is we're doing here. So that being said, I want to talk a little bit about what SACPRONet is. SACPRONet is an organization of unemployed professionals in the Sacramento area. If you're someone who is looking to hire somebody, we have a wide range of people of various professions, everything from accountants to experts in artificial intelligence and robotics, and legal secretaries. So it's a very wide-ranging group. If you are somebody who's unemployed and are looking to have some support in your job search, Sacramento Professional Network offers a great many networking opportunities, as we are a member of the Metro Chamber of Commerce, and we also will help you get your resume and your interview skills up to par. With that said, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.